Hello and welcome back to another episode of You Want to Do What with Dan and Julie. Today we're talking to Sophie Craig, who is an actor and content creator. Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All good. We were just saying we're a bit fed up of the darkness in November, but good apart from that.
It's like hibernation season, isn't it?
It really is. So acting and content creation, how did you get into it?
Oh God. Okay, so acting. I went to drama school. I did 3 years at drama school, and then moved down to London at 21 after getting an agent in a showcase, and then kind of went on from there with lots of little jobs in between.
So why did you choose the industry? Did you always have a love for acting?
Yeah, so I started off like dancing and stuff at a very, very young age. I think it was about 18 months. So it was like my mum said I was like dancing before I was walking. And then, I've just always loved acting and theatre and performing. It was a bit of a class clown. And but yeah, so it was something I always wanted to do. I had intended at some point, I went to sixth form and got my A-levels. I ended up getting 5 A-levels instead of 3 because I was so unsure about what I wanted to do. Yeah, so I like kind of did some and then was like, oh, I'll do more just in case I want to go that way. And then I applied to med school and then withdrew that application and then went to drama school.
Oh my word.
So, yeah, my dad was like, what are you doing? But yeah, I was just like, I just couldn't imagine not doing that again and just, I don't know, giving it a go. I was like, oh, well, I'm really passionate about this. If I'm more passionate about this than I am medicine, then maybe I shouldn't be doing medicine. So that's
So where did you really learn acting? You obviously said to drama school. Is that the main sort of path for most people?
I guess it kind of is for stage more so, but I do more sort of TV and film. And, there are so many other ways now to get into it. I think you can read all the books in the world that you want about how to be an actor, and you can read Stanislavski, you can read Shakespeare, you can read every script that there is going online or wherever. But it doesn't. I think it's something you can either do and you enjoy and you do it kind of convincingly, I guess, or you just kind of you kind of don't. So I know a lot of people are coming up just from maybe being scouted, or they're making their own stuff and getting spotted that way. Like I think there's many more ways to get into the industry now than perhaps maybe used to be traditionally. Like, oh yes, you must go to drama school and speak RP and and all that. But yeah, no, I think there's new ways for it, especially with the online world as well.
So you mentioned you got an agent and came down to London. But how did you what's your first sort of project? How did you get started?
Oh my gosh, my first ever project. Oh my goodness. I think it was like, I did a music video. I think that's how most people like get their first little jobs. Is like there's these little casting websites that you can sign up for. Obviously, Spotlight is like the big one, but it's quite expensive. Normally you have to have an agent to be on it, but a lot of people can get work without having an agent. So there's websites. It was called Casting Call Pro. It's called Mandy now. And so Mandy.com, and there's another one called Star Now, which is a little bit hit and miss sometimes. But that is where kind of like a lot of my first jobs certainly came for like maybe like, 50 quid to go be in this music video. And yeah, it just kind of went on from there. I kind of guess it's like, a long old slog. Like I'm nearly 30 now and I'm only just starting to kind of be comfortable and make an okay income where I don't have to be doing lots of other jobs as well, because I've done lots of other jobs to support it.
Well, I was going to ask that. Did you just like jump straight into acting and say, right, this is what I'm going to do, focus everything on that, or did you have part-time jobs?
Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, I wish. You come down all starry-eyed and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be in the West End, I'm going to get in a film, and it's just not that way. So I've waitressed, which I loved, actually. I really enjoyed waitressing. I've waitressed. I've done children's parties. I've leafleted. I've done promo. I've done other jobs as well, sort of that are in the industry. So I'll do like maybe voiceover, or I did, what's it called? Where, like stock images.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did little bits of modeling, if you can call it modeling. I modeled hoovers for a very long time, which was a bit strange, again, for catalogs. Kids parties, loads of promo work, princess parties, basically anything that you could do to support it, and that was shift work. I found a job actually on, I think it was Star Now, and it was a presenting job on, like, you know, when you come in drunk from a night out and you turn on the telly, and there's like the people on doing the casino channels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did that for a bit, presenting on there, but I had to train and get a croupier's license and everything, and I was like, I did not anticipate this.
That's a bit different, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah, but it was good because it was like live kind of TV, because it was on Sky, so it kind of got a little bit of experience.
And now you're croupier as well.
Yeah, my license has run out, so I'm not official. But
and the other side to your career is content creation, right? You do some hilarious videos on Instagram. You work with a friend, is that right?
So yeah, I originally started off on Facebook. And I built up a really big following on there. I think I've got about 400,000 over on there, which is quite small in terms of, I guess, some people's world, like people that set out to do that for, like, I kind of accidentally ended up doing it. I met a girl called Johanna, who you've probably seen in a few of my videos.
Yeah.
And she had been content creating for maybe a year, 18 months before I met her. And so my other half works in production, and I met him on an acting job. And he hired me for one of his productions as the van driver. So I was driving a van full of production people and the talent, and Johanna was hired for a brand deal, and I was her van driver. We met doing that, and then she was like, "You're really funny." Like, she was like, "Let's do some stuff together." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah," because I'd been writing and creating my own bits and pieces, but never really used the internet, I guess, as a stepping stone. And then, yeah, we just started creating our own stuff. She had a little bit of a following, so that definitely helped. And then I kind of ended up just realizing that, I can do this as well. And
because this is a whole new world, isn't it? This wasn't available maybe 5 years ago to actually pursue this.
Right, exactly. And it was never something I set out to pursue. It was kind of quite accidental, but in creating stuff online, I was then approached by BBC Three, and I got a few commissions off the back of some of my work they'd seen online, and got to work with them, and then that led on to other things. And there's definitely more that you don't need to go to drama school. I'm not putting down drama school, but you don't need to. Or the best thing to do is just to get out there and make your own stuff, get seen, work hard, and make your own things. Like, I've started writing my own stuff now, and that started to get in little places. But it's just, I think if there's no work, create your own.
And so, you obviously having an agent, what was sort of the process for you to acquire an agent?
So when you go to drama school, you have a thing called a showcase at the end of your 3 years, and you have to sit and painstakingly invite every single agent you possibly think of to your showcase. Most of them won't reply. Most of them won't turn up. And sometimes they do. And again, it's a lot of it's luck, I think. I don't really like to use the word luck, because I feel like luck is when opportunity meets preparation. And I think good things come from that. Yeah. So, but I managed to get that, but then they dropped me because I didn't get any jobs. So that happens. And then, so the best thing to do is then to create your own showreel, go out there, network with people, do little small jobs, get things that you can use in your showreel, make a good showreel, and then just relentlessly annoy. But that is the way. I've had a few different agents. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't. But the one that I'm with now is I'm finally settled with one, but it has taken a little while.
And is at the beginning of an actor's career quite hard, just like more or less just grafting, just going out there, networking, getting as many opportunities as you possibly can, and hopefully some of them come off?
Yeah, basically. I mean, there were a few you know, I think times have changed. I feel so old saying that, but honestly, like, it changes so quickly. And I think there's a few things where you think, yeah, that's a dead end, or, oh, I'll never do that again. Or you learn a lot. You have to learn a lot very quickly and grow very thick skin very quickly. But yeah, always be kind to everybody that you meet, because you never know what, like, you can get, if you get a little job, somebody in wardrobe could recommend you to somebody else on another set that they're on, and then that ends up being, like, you know, your next job. You know, and it's definitely just work hard, keep your head down, and just be always kind and polite, and just be a good person. Because it's a big industry, but it's also not. So yeah.
And what's an average day like for you? You know, you're doing your acting, you're doing your content creation, and now writing. So how do you structure your days usually?
Good question. Do you know what? That's something I've had to really work on, is creating my own structure, because I really struggle. I love, like, when I've got a job to do, say, like, a very physical job, say waitressing, for example, I would happily bash out a 14-hour shift when I used to waitress and be fine with that. I work really hard. But then when I'm in terms of, like, my own time management, I did struggle with that. My attention span can be quite short, which is probably why I'm creative. But so for me now, I've learned to manage my time better. So I'll get up in the morning, and I'll make sure I have a good breakfast, maybe do a little bit of exercise, and then I'll sit down and be like, right, and between this time, I'm going to get on top of my emails, any work that might be coming in, sort of for the online stuff. I work with a lot of brands there, and that's how you make an income with that. You collaborate with people, and then I'll maybe look on some casting websites and see if there's any work there, and maybe apply to some. And then I'll maybe film some content and edit it, and then kind of structure my day in a way where it's like, right, I'll spend an hour doing this, and I'll spend 2 hours doing that, and I'll spend an hour doing that. But I've also learned to not feel guilty as well if I just want to be like, do you know what, I'm going to take a random Tuesday off, because there's this weird thing that you have to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 every day, but obviously that's totally not how it works.
Obviously, you said you moved to London to probably to help further your career. I assume there's a lot more work around London, but do you have to travel around the country for different opportunities?
Yes. So there's a few times where maybe I've been, because I'm northern, I've been sent up north for the odd audition here and there, which is fine. When I was in the north, I was sent down to London more, and it just is where it is, that kind of industry. It just is in London at the moment. I do feel like it's starting to change again a little bit more and more is going up into Manchester and stuff. But so you do travel a few different places. I've been sent a few crazy places sort of with my online work, which has been really cool, because I wasn't very well traveled before that. So that was enjoyable, but more so for jobs. And this year, actually, I've not had to travel for a single audition. It's now all self-tapes because of the year that it's been. That it's 2020. Has
that affected you? Because obviously, I suppose if you're self-taping, you can spend a little bit more time on it rather than just going in.
I love a self-tape. But, well, I mean, I do and I don't, because it's just like you send it off and it goes into the abyss and that's it. Course, I mean, you don't get much back when you're in a casting room, to be honest. They tend to give you just very blank faces. Like, you'll give like the best thing of your life, and then you'll think, "Oh my god, that was great. I mean, I'd hire me." And then they'll literally be like, "Thank you." Like, oh god, was I bad? What was that? But they're really deadpan. But in the sense of like kind of learning lines and stuff, or you can go for another take if you're not getting it wrong. So I guess that side of it kind of takes the pressure off it, and you don't get those jittery pre-audition nerves that you once used to get.
I mean, doing content creation and some of the sketches and things you do, you have to be really confident, right? And you have to almost get out of your own way. Like that, like TikTok, for example, just, started to blow up and loads of people are on it. And everyone's been saying to us, do some videos on TikTok. There's loads and loads of people there. I can't do it. I can't. I can't do it.
You know what? I think that's why it took me so long. It wasn't until I met Johanna, who I've done some sketches and stuff with, that she kind of like pushed me off that cliff. probably like it might inspire some people, might not. I'm actually very, very I can be quite shy, and like very self-critical, and like probably quite typical creative, like very depressive, and very like woe is me sometimes. But I think it is exactly like you said. It's just you've got to get yourself out of the way, because if it's only you holding yourself back, how are you ever going to know what you could achieve? And I'm really glad that I did. And I might have a few people that be like, oh, she's a bit cringy, or oh, look, I can't stand what she does, or whatever. Fine, unfollow me, crack on with your life, and I'll go find my next job. Like
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I think it comes with age as well. Like it definitely, I know it sounds like, if anybody's listening, it's like 18 and like it's seriously, I think you kind of just get more of a, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll just crack on with it. You do you and I'll do me. It's not, good things happen when you allow yourself to just kind of crack on and not worry what anyone else thinks.
What are some of the personality traits? You've almost just described, you got to be some thick skin there, but what are some other personality traits that you think really help an actor thrive?
I think you've got to be kind and really understanding of situations, because being on set can be quite stressful sometimes, especially when you first start out as well. It's not, it isn't glamorous. You're not like a Hollywood A-lister that's going to have like a beautiful, I don't know, plate of fresh exotic fruit brought to you every 10 minutes. And like, it's not, it's not glamorous. It's just really good fun. Just muck in, work hard, be on time, be polite, be punctual, know your craft and do your research. But definitely have thick skin. Definitely try and have good self-discipline in sort of terms of where it comes to your work. It's very easy to feel lonely and unmotivated, because you say you'll do 20 auditions and maybe you'll get one out of them. So it's very easy to feel low about it. So I guess, just determination, kindness, and perseverance.
And what are some of the biggest positives you've had from both your acting and content creation careers so far?
It's given me incredible opportunities that I don't think I would ever have had I done anything else. If I'd have done something else, I don't think I would have had these crazy opportunities. I met Will Smith last year.
No way.
Yeah, granted, I was wearing a fat suit and a mullet.
Okay. But well, what was the story there?
Well, so we got sent out on a PR trip for his new film Gemini Man. So we got sent to Budapest to do some content around it, and then at the end we got to meet him. But I was with Johanna at the time, and we do like some comedy stuff together as like a little duo, and we have these characters, Bev and Sue, that are like kind of tourists.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, and we were like, shall we take this opportunity to dress up as Bev and Sue and meet Will Smith and film it? And we did, and it was brilliant. And it was really good fun. He was really cool and really down with it and totally got what we were doing. But yeah, so opportunities like that, and we got to go to Miami and do some work there. Yeah, really, really cool opportunities. And then obviously the acting side of it as well. I've met some really, really amazing people that is great. And you meet new people all the time. And yeah, you've just got some really cool stories to tell. And the positives are as well, you're not every day, for me personally, every day that I'm not in an office, I count as like being blessed, because that some people love that, but for me, I would personally, I think I'd struggle. So,
yeah, I agree.
And on the other side of that, what would be some of the less favourable and negative aspects of the industry?
I think, again, just the rejection it happens a lot. I've been told I'm too fat, I'm too spotty, I'm too short, I'm too small. Like, and if you take that personally, then this perhaps isn't the place for you. But then equally, that it's just somebody's job to be like, oh, you can't come. Like I remember having I got a commercial for toothpaste, and I got cast on my smile, and they cut me out and only used my elbow.
Just use your elbow.
Great. Yeah, great.
No.
I spent 12 hours on set, got cast because you thought my teeth were all right, and cut them out.
Oh my
So
word.
it's like, great. So yeah, I mean, and that'll happen. A lot of things might end up on the cutting room floor when you do get that job. But yeah, so I think a downside of it is that it can be quite lonely, in the sense that you don't have a set group of people that you see every day, and you get to socialize with. I think your 20s can be quite difficult for that anyway, because everybody's at a completely different stage of life. Some people are married, some people have babies, some people have the career they want, some people are still studying. Like, everyone's all over the place. And I think when you are self-employed and it's just you and you haven't got that same set group of people, sometimes it can feel you can feel quite alienated. And I guess the worry sometimes of where your next lot of rent is coming from, especially when you first start out.
That's our next question, really. We always talk about what people could expect average salary wise, and we usually go away and find a load of data and sort of just ask you if it sounds about right. But this was really hard to find any figures on, because it can just range so wildly.
Oh my God, yeah.
You could earn, like you said earlier, 50 quid for doing an extra thing, but then you could earn a load of money doing a brand deal.
Right.
So,
or if you're on Hollywood A-lister, you could be earning absolute millions.
Exactly. Yeah, I think. Oh God, I remember earning maybe £11,000 one year.
Wow.
And I was like living in a rubbish house. In fact, the ceiling fell through in a storm.
Oh my God.
So and we had to bleach the walls every week because of the black mold. But I was there with my friends. Do you know what? It was a great crack. We had a really fun time. We loved it. We were all young in London. It's kind of just what you get on with. And it was good fun. But then obviously there have been times where I've had to like get other jobs, which is fine. That's what you expect. I think a lot of people expect to come down all starry-eyed and don't realize just how hard it is to continue to have a job in that, and your break isn't going to come immediately. It might not ever come. Your break might just be that you are lucky enough to be able to keep a roof over your head doing something you love.
I guess the content creation side that has developed in the last 5 years has almost allowed you to not subsidize, but in a way, kind of subsidize the acting bit a little bit, maybe with brand deals and things like that.
Yeah, well, 1,000,000%. So it allowed me, what actually content creation has allowed me to do is be able to have the freedom to take whatever casting I want or whatever acting job I want, because I know it's okay. I haven't got to fill in a shift at a restaurant. I haven't got to go and find another promo job or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll maybe get this little bit of money for a brand deal, and I'll go, okay, well, I have a little nest for maybe, at least I can pay my rent for a couple of months, and then, focus on that. So it's allowed me to be able to just be fully committed to content creation and acting. Whereas before I was juggling maybe 4 or 5 jobs at some points just to try and make ends meet.
And are we right in saying that brand deals can range from anything from £100 up to a few thousand?
Yeah, absolutely. And it all depends on the brand, the following that you have, where they want it put. So for example, my Facebook is a lot larger than my Instagram. But also it depends on your reach and your audience and who's paying what. And but some people, I guess, like earn thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on it. I don't pretend that I'm very well off, because I'm really not. But it's allowed me to be able to pay my rent, which is something I'm really, really grateful for, and I'm really thankful. And also in content creating, it's opened up more doors for the acting kind of side of it, which is all I ever was going to use online for. So yeah.
What would you say is something that you have to deal with that's not in the job description?
Trolls.
Yeah.
Yes. They're so unfortunate, aren't they?
Yeah. They are. Just nasty little mean people who just need a cuddle. But
I guess maybe doing the acting and developing that thick skin from all your castings has maybe helped.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I don't know. I think this whole online world opens up that entire new realm where people feel that they can say whatever they want without putting their face to a name and without consequence.
Yeah.
And it's allowed for that. Which, I mean, literally just the other day, I shared, there was someone under the same management with me for a very short while, and I was sharing her videos on my Facebook page to try and help her page grow, just to help her out. And everybody, I don't know, people maybe just don't know how to use Facebook. That's basically what it is. And they would click follow my name instead of her because they were interested in what she was doing. And I posted a photo the other day on my page. And I had all these people like, who are you? Like writing all these horrible, horrible things. And I'm like,
no way.
Swearing at me, like telling me to get lost, like Facebook are faking us, like this is fraud, like you've paid for me to see you. And I'm like, mate, you just clicked the wrong link. Like, this is not my problem. And even for me, I have a thick skin, and they weren't particularly bad. I've had some horrific messages, but the majority are lovely. But even just reading through them, I was like, oh, this makes me feel so rubbish. So I just block them, all of them.
Yeah. Best way to do it.
I just block them all. But yeah, I've had some really nasty things, and that is something that I don't think anyone could prepare you for. Like, it's just a human thing, isn't it? You get lots of lovely, maybe nice things, and then maybe if you get something that's quite negative, you naturally will focus on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe the trolls.
What would also be a skill that you would suggest developing if someone wanted to go into content creating or acting that maybe you wouldn't necessarily expect?
Edit. Learn how to edit. For sure.
Yes.
I think learn how to edit, even if it's just basic, even if it's just a cut and slice or whatever. I also do a little bit of that on the side as well. So I write, which is great. And again, that's come from doing an acting job on a set and talking to somebody about something I was writing, and they've gone, oh, I'm interested in that. And then now I've managed to get it optioned, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll get made. But at the moment it's been picked up, which is something relatively new for a new writer. Well, something relatively hard for a new writer to do. But that was again with somebody I met on set. And it's just, that's the way it works. What was I saying? Oh yeah, editing.
Editing.
So, editing. And then I also, I do like little videos for families and like some intimate, weddings and elopements. And then I edit on that, and I get a little bit of money from that as well. That's cool. I also edit all my own content. And that saves you a lot of money, because if you're making this content and you can't edit it, or maybe, or if you're only, say, doing a TikTok, as you were saying before earlier, there's only so far you can go with that. If you can't, it's just you on your phone lip syncing or whatever. And, that's great for a lot of people. But if you're wanting to do proper content creation and in like a more sketch-based stuff, basic editing is really, really good. And you can also edit your own show reels if you're an actor, which is always useful.
I'll tell you what, though, that TikTok made me feel really old. I had no idea how to use it.
I'm ancient, and I'm supposed to know how to use it. I have no clue. Honestly, my sister picked it up at the start of lockdown, and she's huge. She's never done it. She's never touched social media in her life, and she just blew up. I was like, how do you know what you're doing? Oh, honestly.
Have you got any tips for anyone that's thinking, do you know what, I want to be an actor and this content creation thing sounds great? What would you suggest they sort of do?
Just go for it. The only thing standing in your way with this kind of thing, as you mentioned it before so perfectly, is yourself. It really, really is. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Or any little people that might chatter from your hometown, or just crack on with it. Go for it. Create your own work if you're not getting work. Get yourself signed up to Star Now and Mandy. Have a little look, get a feel for it, see if you enjoy it, apply for a few jobs, see if you enjoy it, if you like it, crack on, and then maybe then look into getting an agent, acting wise, and then just see where you go from there. But also don't be afraid to take on other jobs. Like you will have to, unless you're super lucky. Again, I don't like to use that word, but I think it does come into it sometimes. unless you're not presented with the perfect opportunity, be ready to just work hard and maybe have another little side hustle along the way.
And would you still go into the industry knowing everything you know now?
I think I would. I don't know if I'd have gone to drama school.
Okay.
I think I would have just cracked on earlier, but then I wouldn't have all the knowledge that I have now at, say, 18 out of my A levels. But yeah, for anybody that is sat at home, and especially a lot of people now want to do YouTube as a career, and it is a completely viable career now. Don't wait, just go for it. Just do it. If you want to create content, you want to make people laugh, just start, just do it.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, Sophie. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Sorry, I probably talked so much.
No, it was really
it's
good.
brilliant.
We really enjoyed it.
Where can people find you on social media?
That's a good question. Yeah, so I'm at It's Sophie Craig on everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. That little thing called TikTok that all the kids do. Yeah, no, that's me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Sophie.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care, guys.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.